Hello and welcome to Founded Money. My name is Connor and I'm here to help you earn more, save more and build your wealth. Wicked. In today's video, we're talking about managing your money and budgeting using the 50-30-20 rule. But before I get into the video, if you find any of my content useful, I'd love for you to subscribe to Founded Money, this channel, leave a comment below or share my channel with someone who might be interested in learning a little bit more about saving money. Budgeting is the cornerstone of personal finance. You're going to hear that from me time and time again. It's what will make you rich and will keep you wealthy over the long term. The best budgets are simple to follow and provide guidance to help you manage your money effectively. Much like diets, there are countless types of budget plans that you could follow, but one of the simplest and my personal favourite is the 50-30-20 rule. So let's get into it. Many people find the 50-30-20 rule to be the easiest way to manage their monthly and annual budgets. It's simple to understand and to follow, but the outcome can be life-changing. If we look at this pie chart as a representation of the 50-30-20 rule, then 50% of your budget will be spent on your essentials, 30% will be allocated to your discretionary spending, and the final 20% is going towards your savings or paying down your debt. The 50-30 rule starts with our total after-tax income. If you're employed, then this is the final or net income you get into your bank each month. If you're self-employed and you complete a self-assessment each year, then we do have to think a little bit in advance. So use your profit minus any expected tax payments that you will need to make. As a general rule, in the UK, I suggest allocating about 30% of your profits towards tax. But for high earners, this could be a little bit more.
You're not familiar with the phrase, in this world nothing is certain but death and taxes?
Well, I am now.
Now that we have an understanding of our total budget, if your monthly income was $2,000 after tax, you might expect to spend $1,000 on your needs, $600 on your wants, and $400 on savings or debt repayments. It's important to note that this rule is just guidance.
When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Your situation may vary and that's just fine. You may not be immediately able to save this amount or cut down some of your life costs, but working towards these amounts is a great goal. Up to 50% of your budget should be spent on needs, but what should be included in this? If we assume that these are essential costs associated with our lives, then needs could include rent or your mortgage, utility bills, food, clothing, and transport to work. It covers anything that we cannot live without. And that is a very important point. When it comes to your 50% allocated towards your essential spending, always be mindful as to whether or not this is something you need or something you want. Disney Plus and Netflix are not essential, nor is eating out. A holiday abroad, no matter how much you think you need it, is not an essential spend. Not having these items might cause you some inconvenience, but you can live a great life without them. However, if we took away your home, then living in the elements could cause physical harm and danger. You may eventually die, and so this would of course be an essential spend. Once we've taken care of our needs, we next need to allocate 30% of our budget towards our wants. Do you want to eat lunch out? Do you want to watch Netflix? Well, that is absolutely your choice. If your budget affords it, you can use your discretionary spending to cover any or all of your wants. We live in a world where the power of advertising and societal pressure stimulates us into keeping up appearances.
Elizabeth, if you could pass round my Royal Doulton with the hand-painted periwinkles.
It stimulates us into spending money on things that we may not be able to afford. By allocating a certain percentage of our budget and being acutely aware of it, we can live within our means and keep a rein on our finances. You may look at your essential spending and see categories that could also fall under wants. Yes, you need food to live, but do you need to shop in Marks & Spencer's?
Like succulent collection Madagascan black tiger prawns.
Or do you need to buy ready meals when cooking from scratch is often cheaper? You may need new clothes to keep you warm or for work, but do you need designer clothing or the latest fashion trends? I'm not here to tell you that spending money is bad, but rather to challenge you to be truthful and honest with yourself about your spending habits. Clearly define your needs and your wants and hold yourself accountable. And if you need somebody else to help you, that's absolutely fine. Saving is critical to protecting yourself from financial emergencies and building your wealth. Much like a bad diet, we cannot outrun bad spending habits. Consistently putting aside 20% of your pay each month can help you build a strong and better financial future. What you do with your savings depends on your current financial situation. There is some debate on the order in which you start saving, so these are my opinion and what I would personally do in this situation. I discuss the reasons why, but doing anything is always better than doing nothing. Building an emergency fund. Have you saved up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses? If not, this is where I think we should initially focus our efforts. An emergency fund can protect us from any sudden financial shocks that could impact our financial well-being. A lost job, a car accident, or your boiler breaking down are very real situations that many of us will face. Each of these could result in going into debt or more debt to cover the cost. An emergency fund can prevent this. Your emergency fund should consist of 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. In an emergency situation, you would not be expected to save any of your income, and in a true emergency, you should look at restricting your discretionary spending. This is an emergency situation after all. If your essential costs are 50% of your income, then we need to save 3 to 6 times this amount as an emergency fund. Putting this money aside in an easily accessible savings or other similar account is a great move, as long as you know that it's set aside for emergencies and emergencies only, and you're not tempted to dip into it. So I'm showing now an emergency fund example. In this example, if you're taking home $2,000 per month, then your essential needs are $1,000 and your emergency fund should be between $3,000 and $6,000. Some of my personal financial coaching clients are happy at the lower end of this, but in the current climate, many are choosing to increase this for their own peace of mind, and you need to figure out what works best for you and that you are happy with. Paying off debt. Some people would argue that you should pay your debt down first. Always pay down your debt in accordance with the current terms that you have with those providers. However, paying additional money towards your high interest debt can have the biggest impact on the amount that you will eventually pay. Paying off debt is also important and should be a priority, especially high interest debt like credit card or store card debts. By allocating 20% of your after-tax income towards debt repayment, you can make progress towards becoming and staying financially secure. In my opinion, building an emergency fund takes greater priority than most debt overpayments. In a true emergency situation, any additional debt can put you in a much worse position. With savings to pay for the emergency, you can protect yourself against this. It is worth noting though that you can build an emergency fund and pay down your debt at exactly the same time. And the 50-30-20 rule is always just a guideline. You can always put more towards your savings rate and secure your financial position as quickly as possible. Saving then. With our needs and our wants catered for, our emergency fund filled and debt paid off, the remainder of our income should then be put towards our future goals. Make no mistake about it, saving and investing 20% of your income is huge.
Wicked! Jungle is massive!
And it will put you in a much better position later in life.
Incredible.
And it's impressive how quickly savings can add up. Using our example before, 400 saved each month would nearly be 5,000 saved in only a year. And we can do even better than that if you decide to invest your savings. Using our 400 per month or 4,800 per year and an 8.5% return on your investments, this could become 267,000 in only 20 years. The power of compound interest that works against you when you're in debt works for you when you're investing your money.
Incredible.
The goal here is to start as early as possible and to contribute as much as you can to your investments. No matter where you are financially today, the takeaway from this video is to get started saving. The 50-30-20 rule is just a guideline and it may not work for everyone. You can also adjust the percentages to suit your personal circumstances, especially if you want to aggressively pay down debt or save for your early retirement. However, the 50-30-20 rule is a simple and effective way to manage your money, and it will help you to build wealth. By allocating 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards savings and debt repayment, you can achieve a very healthy balance in your finances. And if you want any further advice on this rule, or you want to use my 50-30-20 rule calculators, head over to founderd.co.uk. Thanks as always for watching my videos, and if you have found any of this content interesting or useful, hopefully, please subscribe to my channel, and I would love it if you would share it with someone else. Have a great day, and thanks so much for watching.